It is 5 in the evening. Dinner is almost ready, everyone is tired, and then it happens. Your 2-year-old wanted the blue cup. But the blue cup is in the dishwasher, so you handed them the red one. And the world ends. The screaming starts. The little body goes rigid, or melts onto the floor. The tears are real, the volume is extraordinary, and a small voice in the back of your head whispers, "Everyone can hear this, and I have no idea what to do." If you have stood in that kitchen, you are not failing. You are parenting a young child. And what is happening in that moment is not bad behaviour. It is not bad parenting. It is biology. To understand a tantrum, it helps to know what is actually going on inside that little head. The brain's alarm system, a small, almond-shaped part called the amygdala, is switched on from the day a baby is born. But the brain's braking system, the part that handles patience, impulse control, and calming big feelings, develops slowly. Very slowly. It is not fully built until a person is in their mid-20s. So a toddler screaming on the kitchen floor has a fully working accelerator and almost no brakes. They are not choosing to be difficult. Their brain is simply flooded with more feeling than it can yet hold. This is why tantrums peak between the ages of 2 and 3, the years when what a child wants races far ahead of what they can do, wait for, or put into words. It eases after age 4, as language and self-control slowly catch up. And it is why the very same request, "Please, put on your shoes," lands perfectly fine at 10 in the morning, and triggers a complete meltdown at 5 in the evening. Hunger, tiredness, and too much noise shrink an already small capacity even further. Sikh wisdom describes this restless, racing mind too, a wandering mind that darts from one thing to the next. And it never speaks of crushing that mind into silence. It speaks of gently steadying it, and bringing it home. Here is the single most important idea in this whole video. Before a child can calm themselves, they borrow calm from you. Researchers call it co-regulation. A young child's nervous system is not yet wired to settle on its own, so it reaches for a steadier one nearby and matches it. Think of how you feel when someone panics beside you, versus when someone stays calm. Children live inside that effect every day, far more powerfully than we do. And this leads to something that feels backwards. In the middle of a meltdown, your state matters more than your words. A slower voice and unhurried breathing settle an activated little nervous system. A raised voice pours fuel on it. The calm is contagious, and so is the storm. Sikh wisdom arrived at this same truth by a different road, centuries ago. Guru Arjan Dev Ji wrote a line that, translated, reads, "Remembering the one within my mind, I become cool and calm." That word, cool, is the very thing a parent reaches for instinctively when they try to help a hot moment cool down. At the heart of Sikhi is a practice of quiet remembrance, anchored gently, breath by breath. It steadies the one who breathes it. And through the simple power of good company, the people we sit beside, that steadiness passes from one person to the next. A grounded parent is, in a very real sense, lending the child their own calm, their balance, until the child can make their own. So what actually helps, in the moment? The science points to a handful of tools, and none of them is a trick to end a tantrum faster. Together, they build the skill of calming down over a lifetime. The first is simply to name the feeling. A landmark study at the University of California found that putting an emotion into words actually reduces activity in the brain's alarm center. Saying out loud, "You are really frustrated that it ended," does measurable work inside your child's brain. Doctors have a phrase for it: name it to tame it. The second tool is to breathe together. Because your child co-regulates, slowing your own breathing gives them a rhythm to match. This is the quiet mechanics of prayerful, breath-paced remembrance. 2. The same slow breath that steadies the one breathing it, and the one beside them. The third tool is to model it. Children learn how to handle big feelings by watching you handle yours, far more than by being told. A child who repeatedly sees you get frustrated, and then recover, is being shown the whole skill, including the recovery, which is the part that matters most. The fourth is to praise the effort to calm down, not just the calm. You took a big breath all by yourself. That teaches a child that soothing themselves is something they did, and can do again. And the fifth, the one to remember above all the others, connection before correction. A flooded brain cannot absorb a lesson. Comfort comes first. The conversation about what happened lands later, once the thinking brain is back online. The lesson can wait 5 minutes. The calm cannot. It is just as useful to know what makes things harder. Shaming a child, "Big boys don't cry, stop being a baby," does not teach them to handle feelings. It teaches them to hide them. Escalating, meeting their storm with a bigger storm of your own, removes the one calm nervous system they were depending on to borrow from. Anger only feeds more anger. And reaching for a screen to switch off the noise ends the sound, but skips the skill. The child is distracted out of the feeling, rather than walked back through it, and learns nothing about how to find their own way back to balance. There is a deeper observation tucked inside the Sikh teaching here, and it is worth sitting with. The same scripture that describes a settled, balanced mind locates the root to it in letting go of the ego, releasing the grip of the self. It is a strikingly modern insight. So much of our escalation during a child's meltdown is really our own ego flaring, the need to be obeyed, the need not to be embarrassed in the supermarket, the need to win. Seen that way, a parent's self-control is not just a parenting technique. It is, in the Sikh sense, a discipline, the steadiness you keep, on purpose, so that your child always has something steady to borrow. If you have been reading your child's hardest moments as a sign that something is wrong with them, or with you, please let that go. Big feelings are not a flaw. The goal was never a child who never feels anything strongly. That child does not exist, and would be poorer for it. The goal is a child who can feel something deeply, and still find their way back to balance. That settled steadiness, calm that holds through both joy and hardship, is exactly what Sikh wisdom prizes. And it is not built in the calm, easy moments. It is built, quietly, in exactly these storms. Every time you stay steady so they can borrow your steadiness, you are handing them a piece of their own. So the next time the storm hits, try doing less, not more. Lower your voice beneath your child's. Slow your own breath. Get down to their level, and name what you see that was so disappointing before you fix, or explain, or correct anything. You will not get it right every time. No parent does, and your child does not need a perfect one. They need a present one, who keeps finding their way back to calm, because that is exactly how your child will learn to find theirs. The storm will pass. It always does. And when it clears, what your child will remember is not that they fell apart. It is that you stayed.